Oh, wait. Oh, no. Oh, no. What's going on here? We're having a, hang on. We're having a meltdown moment. That's better. That light just kills me. Okay, and stop popping up on the screen. Hello, everybody. Whoops. No. Okay, close that. Close that. Sorry about this. All of a sudden, every notification wants to come through at once. This is what happens when I haven't signed on all day. Let's see here. Okay, chat rules. Hello. Chat rules. Hang on, please be over the age of 17 and please be kind to one another. Only 2 chat rules. And hello, Daryl. And hello to the other people just flying in the door. Hello. It's Christine, and I'm here. Let me bring up my camera controls because I'm obviously zoomed in somehow. Let's see. Let's get rid of autofocus and go with, yeah, we can leave that right there where it is. All right, well, I guess we're not zoomed in. We're just especially close. Anyway, happy Sunday, everybody, and welcome to the madness that is my world. I hope everybody had a good week and that today finds you happy and well and all that kind of good stuff. And hello, Kathy. Oh, that's what I have to do. I have to pop out my chat. I got to walk my talk. I have to. Have you noticed that as you get older, at least me, you kind of have to talk yourself through the steps of things? I do anyway. Hello, Barb, and Barb Singer, and Edna. Hello, and Tammy. Hello, and oh my goodness, it's so nice to see everybody. How was your week, Elizabeth? Hello. I know it's spooktacular. I know everybody is coloring, something amazing for Halloween. Yeah, we're not doing that here. Hang on. Oh, maybe that'll be better. Oh, that's a little bit brighter, although it's a little glary. I am just having a heck of a time. Let me tell you what happened. All right, so turn on my computer yesterday morning, flip it on, and I get this big old red flashing light that says, your CPU fan is not working. We're shutting it down immediately. HP says, do not recommend, using this computer, blah, blah, blah. So y'all know that just sort of put a little, I'm upside down. Oh, yay. Kim, you solved the problem. I'm like, well, now wait a minute. This is the perfect angle. I know exactly where it is by now. Why can't I get it right? Kim, you're so good. I need you, Kim. Don't ever not be here, Kim. Anyway, so I obviously I shut the computer off because I'm like, whoa, I don't want to mess around with that. So I look over on the side of it, right? And I'm like, what is that weird piece of paper? And I go to grab the piece of paper, and it's not a piece of paper. It is literally where the dust has been sucked in to the point where the entire thing looks like a sheet of paper if I don't have my glasses on, because it's just that it got that much dust in it. And so, obviously, so I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, let me tell you what, dust is the number one enemy of electronics. I know that. The fact that I let it get away from me is my own fault. And anyway, a good dusting, nice, soft, non-static cloth to pull it away from there. Then I opened up the case. I spent literally 3 hours with a sheet of dryer, a softener, dryer softener, and a box of Q-tips. And I would roll the cotton Q-tip on the fabric softener and then use that to dust every little nook, and because I don't have any of that spray stuff, to dust every little nook and cranny in there until I got it completely dust-free, popped on the computer, and it works fine. So, a word of caution: if you have a dusty environment, be sure to mitigate that for your computer. Okay. It's been a heck of a week here in America. Anybody else a little, just a little shell-shocked? Okay, what we're going to do is, and by the way, if you are new watching my channel, or if you are watching this back, my name is Christine Aldridge. I am an artist. I do draw coloring books for a living. There are a whole bunch of them, and there's links for all of that stuff down there in the description. I put a link to the playlist that has all of my flip throughs. So if people want to see the work that I draw, they can see that. Otherwise, I'm going to color in this book, which is something that Colin Thompson drew, and we are working on a picture here with Derwent Inktense, and that's what we're going to do. But in the meantime, how the heck is everybody else? Hello, Kathy Nichols and Gary, welcome. And anybody that I miss, please know that I'm not missing you on purpose. Hello, Robin. Hello, Risa. Hello, hello, everybody. Hello, Kelly. Hello, Kelly Gordon. And welcome to one and all to. Now we'll see how well I do with, with not talking about that strange event that happened in America on Tuesday night. We called it one thing, but it was actually just a shouting match. Okay, and we'll go from there. And then, of course, the big news is that I do hope that, and I honestly and truly do hope. I don't have to like the man to not wish him well, but I truly hope that that the repercussions of this virus are not difficult for our commander-in-chief, regardless of whether I like the man. It is it's no good to be sick like that. It's just no good. And I wish him a speedy recovery and a easy to deal with illness. Yeah, yeah, Robin, that's the one. Excuse me. I'm going to try not to cough my way through it. I thought I was doing well. Yesterday was a nice dry day, and then I woke up this morning with a nasty sinus headache. I mean, a bad one. So, and that usually signals rain in my little world. Okay, so um, what what I thought that I would do is, now obviously in order to really kind of show you what's going on here, I'm going to zoom you down onto this, but I just want to talk generally about some of the things that I've got going on in this particular picture. Now, in some parts of it, I still have not yet decided whether or not the outside, the top here, is going to be day or night. I'm leaning toward night only because of the way that I've treated a lot of the interior light as coming in from the outside. Now, originally, I was thinking that it would be reflected sunlight. So, the sun was slowly rising. Maybe it was rising behind the buildings, and so it might be coming out from there. But I'm thinking that it is night out here, and it's only really daytime in that little area right there where the ocean is. Although it could be footy about to start. Don't forget. Oh, thanks. Okay, all right. Hopefully it's a good game, and whoever it is that you want to win wins, Gary. That's what I always tell my football friends. I used to really enjoy football, but I don't have a team anymore. So anyway, but I've also, most of these houses, when I did the interiors, like this one, even with the floral wallpaper that we put in, and once again, I'll bring it down so you can see all of that. It's nighttime in there, so I'm thinking that nighttime would be good out here, with daytime only being in certain little areas, like maybe in there and then in here again, because back here, you can't see it, but there's this road that goes up to this castle. And here, there's like a bard who's probably looks like she's from this medieval world, but she's outside of this sort of log cabin looking thing. So, Colin Thompson's art is just all over the place. I do like the purple light. I got kind of thinking that maybe this is um, uh, just a light purple and it's actually casting its light down into the house. Who knows? There's a light inside of it that's obviously yellow light. So let's come down so we can have a little closer look-see at some of this, and I'll get you zoomed in good and tight so that we know what we're doing. I'm thinking that I'm going to color this area for right this very second. And let me just, now, is this one in the coloring heaven, Elizabeth, this particular picture, or are they other of his art? Okay, what am I looking for? I'm looking for the focus. Hello. There we go. Wait, I went too far. I think that's it. I hope it is. If it's fuzzy, you guys are going to let me know, right? I do think night would look cool as well, Kim. And, oh, wait, there went a cat. What? Now you want, will you want in here? Come in. Do you want a moment? Is that what you want? Is that what you want? Do you want a moment? You have to come over here to get it. If you want a moment, you can have it. This is what I'm dealing with here. There she is right there. She doesn't want her moment, I guess. Okay. Well, in that case, you're going to have to stay over there and behave, right? Okay. Yes, we'll let you know, but right now it looks great. Okay. All right. So, um, in that case, then what I want to do, because there's like a weird shadow thing. This alley. Now I did it sort of, and actually his take on that light is interesting. So let's do that light. Let's do that right now. You know, I'm just likely to just jump in. Now I've been using this Sicilian yellow for the light. Second copy of this, so you wouldn't feel bad about coloring in it. Okay. All right. Well, that's good, Momo. Um, I never feel guilty about coloring in my coloring books. All right. I'm going around the outside of this light with this, right? Just very, very, and I'm just sort of putting in a bit of a layer of this yellow light all the way around kind of everything where it would be reflecting. But I'm leaving it white in the middle. So that way, let's see. And I just want to make sure. Ooh, boy, that needs a focus change. That looks about right. Close that. All right. So, boy, I'm right down on top of it. I can actually barely see my. And so I am using just a little bit of a circular motion, just sort of working my way in to that rats. Okay. There's my thing. Oh, now you want to be in here? Is that it? But don't you understand? Okay. So now, see, what I want to have happen is I want it to look like that would be a cat. I put this right at her eye level. So now she's thinking she can just push on it. So you want that to be the brightest in the center. Just like that. All right. So now there's this bright light sort of illuminating everything else. So regardless of what color we end up making, anything down here, it's going to have that light. Like this is a person, and we're going to be able to color the person, but he's still going to be covered with the light. Sweetheart, yeah, I love you, but you're in my light. Yeah, you're in the light. You are in the light. You can either like put your cute little face down here, or whoops, or not. You want to be in. This is coriander, everybody. Yeah, she's making an appearance. You know, she's she's not really allowed up on the desk anymore. No, she's not, because she drinks the water out of the jars, and she like throws up on the keyboard, throws up a hairball. Yeah. Yeah, this is why she's not really allowed, but she's a camera ham. She's only a camera ham in the wintertime. Oh, all right, sweetheart. Yeah, that's enough. When it's hot, she's not. She wants no position under these lights. Okay. All right, so now we've got that. Now we do have some sort of concrete that we need to deal with. Concrete is usually sort of a bluey gray color, so I usually end up selecting just a really kind of a little tiny bit of the Payne's Gray. And just once again, everybody, just sort of the pencil weight, not adding a lot of color to it, using my Derwent Inktense. Just, sort of like that. Just want to give it the idea. And then I will add a little bit of white. And what the white is intended to do is sort of preserve the lightness of the sidewalks. So when I add a little bit, or when I sort of rub that gray around, it'll look more like a sidewalk. And so this is the neutral gray, and I'm just adding a little bit of that. And once again, we'll come down here, and this, I absolutely, I so agree with you, Momo. I think, I think that artists, we actually have really good taste in coloring books. Because aren't you, Momo, the artist, Momo? Isn't that you? I could be wrong, but I think it is. I think you are. Okay, yeah, and then the whoops. So I owe everybody sort of an explanation. Last week, I made a channel recommendation for Beau of the Fifth Column, and in it I said that he didn't he wasn't anti any one candidate or anything like that. He more just gave you ideas and things to think about. And while that is actually true, he is not. He like me is not a particular fan of this current person. So, all right. So you see how we just ended up with a sidewalk that is just a little more, just a little bit more. And I think we're going to end up darkening that just a little bit. And I had a ton of cat hair that I had to get out of there because, of course, this is the other reason why the cat is not allowed on the desk. All right, one of the things that I want to do is I want to give this guy back here a little bit of definition. So maybe I want this person to be wearing just a hint of red. And I think that might also be a person. And I'm going to add just a tiny bit more red down there, because that would be the part that's away from the light. Maybe some red shorts, and maybe make this a khaki green backpack. On his back, like a tourist walking down an alley. And let's see here. This person here could be wearing brown shorts. Oops, let's go with some brown. Brown. And we could make, because against that light it actually looks orange. So if he's wearing orange, he could be wearing a let's see here, a touristy type thing, a orange pants and a how about a turquoise top? Orange and turquoise go together, right? Right. Okay, so that's the iris blue, not the color. This is the dark aquamarine, which is probably as close to turquoise as I'm going to get. Okay, so we've drawn a little t-shirt on him. So these two people are walking down the street. And I don't know if I probably can get you in there just a little bit tighter. All right, so there's that. And so you see what I mean, though, about how completely absorbed you can get in coloring. Yes, I actually will. I'm going to use them to do the this building right here. I just want to get these little guys out of the way first. These are their little legs. Maybe they've got really good, oops, maybe not that good of tans. Although, who knows? This guy could be dark skinned. Let's give him some dark hair. Yeah, see, this is why you're not allowed up here, sweetheart. It's because of the cat hair. Because I cannot seem to turn around, but then I've got cat hair in everything. Everything. Do you hear me? I've got cat hair. I was pulling cat hair out of the computer. Do you know that? Yeah, there was cat hair in my computer. I cannot imagine how it got there. Except for maybe the fact that you like to sit next to the computer and scratch. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'll add just a little bit of interest to this. Doesn't have to be a lot, just a little bit of maybe a wooden front to that building down there at the end. It doesn't have to be detailed. We're just adding little hints and splashes of color and then letting the eye do the rest. You see what I mean? Automatically, it just pops that little building out, proud from this building. And, these guys are standing there and looking at the whatever it is that's in the window. And they're on their way maybe back to their little hotel for the night. Or maybe they're about to get ready to go dancing, or who knows? Who knows what they're doing? Now, I'm not going to actually, I should do it. I should. Hang on, I should color that. That's sepia. I don't want that. I want that. I want to get rid of that thread. You see what I mean? There's a binding thread right here. I want it to disappear. As far as, there's the book binding thread. So in order to get it to disappear, you just color it. And there it's gone. just like that. You like my stories? I like to make up stories about people and things, and I mean, I don't actually, I don't put them out there if they're about real people, um, but I can tell stories about imaginary people all day long. All right, I want to run this wood, the same color sort of that I used over here, all the way through to this area, because it's actually part and what connects this building to this alleyway. And so now let's get the pans out, because I believe that we've done that little section, right? And, and this is what I mean, everybody, about a coloring adventure. When you are, and it doesn't matter if you're working in a book like this, or if you are, just coloring a design, something from, say, one of my books. You can, you can make up a little story about what is going on in the, in it, and how it makes you feel. This particular flower, and it's sort of a zen. Sweetheart, I love you, but you know what? Yeah, she's sitting here clawing at my arm. Honey, I love you. You got to get down. I know. I know it's so hard. I know it's so hard. Don't fall off. Don't fall off there. It's so hard. Okay, so we need to come back up a little bit. And yeah, all right. So we just have a little bit of that. Now, these are, once again, these are the pans, and I'm going to mix up, because I've decided that I do want to connect this building, all right, the sandstone in this one, with sandstone here, in the same kind of brick. And then when I get to this one out here, I will make it the same color grays that I used. And then here, that'll give me a chance to go back to the bricks. And that will, actually put, sorry, cohesiveness all the way across the page. And it won't stand out and say, wow. What it will do is it'll draw you in to say, ooh, look at that. Oh, I wonder what's going on there. I mean, like the Mediterranean, the little island down here, and there's a big tree on the island, and maybe these guys are gonna tomorrow, they're gonna take a launch from wherever the marina is down under here, and they're going to go out to that island, and they're going to have a big picnic underneath that tree. Or maybe the lady will, because she's getting ready to go for a ball, maybe she's going to be at the ball, and she's going to meet one of those guys, and it's going to be the guy of her dreams. And so then they're going to go plan a wedding and have it out there on that beautiful little island with the, with the trees. There's just a gajillion stories, just a gajillion stories out there that you can tell yourself. You're limited only by your imagination for storytelling. Hello, Groon. And hello, Leah, and to all of the folks, Lulu, my goodness, all the people who've snuck in. And while I've been just sort of yakking on about weird stuff. Okay. All right, so I'm going to start out with, just like I did last time, I'm going to start out with some of this. And I think we decided this was yellow ochre or close enough. Squeeze a little water into it, right? Okay, then I'm going to add a little brown. And that's going to make it too brown. Oh no. So then we're going to add a little yellow. Okay. And that is the color we want, sort of weirdness. It's sort of a weird color. We're going to thin it way down with some water. And this is the beauty of Inktense. And if we didn't get it just exactly right, well, you know what? That's okay. And then we're just going to go for it. It is a little too watery, so here's what we're going to do. If it's a little too watery, you just sort of add some more color to it. Uh-oh, that went a little brown on me. So we'll add a little yellow. What I'm after is a particular tone, and I'll recognize it when I see it. There it is, right there. Okay, so I'm not squeezing any more water. I'm just, just sort of mixing it up. Now this could be a little too dark, and I had a little too much. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Alrighty. Oh boy. Okay. And that was actually Gary talking to Shara. Okay. So then we're going to also come across here with that. Now, this is a different brick, right? So I'm not going to color it this color. I'm going to save that and color it a different color. I'm only because there's the question here becomes there's different worlds going on, or there's different buildings. And you don't have to worry about if you're not pushing with your color. You're not what am I trying to say? You're not rubbing. You're letting your brush sort of float across the paper, and you're not in any danger of pilling paper. You only pill paper if you are pushing, and so don't push, and don't rub over wet areas too many times. But that said, you can still rub over it quite a bit. But this is what I mean. There's down here, even though this looks like the same brick, there's only half a window showing, right? And so that is obviously a different building altogether. And this is the doorway into that different building. So this building ends right here. And you have to be watching for stuff like that in Colin's art, because it's like it's deceiving that way. So I realized, of course, after we were done that day, that this building sort of continued on over here with this obvious interruption in its line. And I'm not looking at the screen right this very second, guys. So, and oh, hi, Robin. You got your copy of this a few days ago. Yay. So you were able to find it on Etsy. I'm so glad. I'm assuming that you got it on Etsy. And okay, so this one is that same building as well, for reasons I don't know. Maybe this is some sort of a little extra ruin of it over there. But this one is part of this building. And actually, this is part of this one as well. As I was going through this book, and just trying to pick out all of the places where it is this building or that building. And it's hard to know for absolute certain. So you just have to do the best that you can. And I'm thinking that, and it can also be whatever you want. I mean, you can do it however you see it. Okay, so that can be, okay, so that's stairways, that's a door. Okay, this can be this building. Okay, all of which are parts of this over here. Okay, and then it could extend over there, except that's part of that. Oh, I probably should have left that. It probably is part of that. Oh well, it's part of this now. Okay, so then, sorry, I didn't mean to disappear on you there. Okay, so there's that. And and of course the pan set of Inktense has exactly the same properties as the pencils. In other words, it's actually just a block of, literally a block of ink. Well, hello, Kathy Colson. Nice to see you. And who I recognize from over at Facebook. Kathy's got a coloring group called Cat's Coloring Corner, I think, or Cat's Cat, what's it called? And let's see. Okay, so I'll do that. We can add some. We're going to add some definition into this a little bit later. I did get this one a little bit dark. I think it's sort of darker than I did when I initially did this other side, but I think it'll be fine. Okay, so there's that. But now this also has an especially pretty, because if we decide that we want it to be night out here and we want something to be daytime, but I used a yellow sky on this one because I was thinking a sunshiny sky at the time I was thinking, the sun was obviously somewhere back in here and it was flooding all these areas with light. But if I make it night out here instead, then I need a daytime, a blue sky kind of place. And so I have a nice sky blue right here. And so I'm going to grab a little of that and pick a spot for it right there. Okay, and then add some water. And unfortunately, this is exactly why I brought better, much better. Okay, yes. Okay, and go with one more little drop of water to sort of make that, bring that down just a tad. All right, let's try this. As far as a blue wash for the sky goes. Okay. Now I'm going to wash it out even further. And use it down here so that it's more like the sky, and we can even add a little bit of a darker up there at the top. Trying to pull a little bit more of the blue in. Now these aren't going to act like watercolors, true watercolors, but you can, as long as it's wet like that, you can get enough time with it to where you can sort of, work the fade down. Now, I didn't put any clouds in. I could have put some clouds in, and maybe, let's see if I can. Oh, look, clouds. Well, hopefully when that dries. Okay, now this is a street lamp though, and it is actually shedding light. So we still have that to deal with. And so we can still, maybe it's just twilight here. All right, and this is a little bard. All right, so now we need clothes for our little bard. And whoever it is that's wearing, it's a lady. And I realize I don't think I can get you close enough to actually see her, but those of you who have a copy of this know this is a lady. She's playing like a lute or a banjo or a something. Maybe it's not a lady. Maybe it's a centaur. Maybe it's a centaur, and he is. These are his little goat legs, and those are, instead of a crown, those are his little horns. Hello, Shara. At any rate, that is a stringed instrument of some kind. So the first thing we want to do is decide I think it's a lady. I think she's wearing a dress. I think that is a crown. And I want that dress to be a color. And I want it to be a nice burnt orange. So burnt orange is right here. Ooh, look at that. That's maybe not burnt orange, but it will be by the time I get done with it. Now there is a burnt orange color. Now it's a burnt orange. Okay. There is a burnt orange color sort of in the, oh, there we go. It's exactly what I want. So I want them wearing that dress. Maybe a lady goat. Exactly. It could easily be a lady goat. Speaking of which, one of my favorite channels, which is Roots and Refuge. I know you guys know I love that channel. Um, uh, Jessica, there's two things that I put on my wish list this week from Amazon. The first one is Jessica's book, which is it's due to be released in February. I personally, since I follow her channel, I know how hard she's been working on it, but it's a book designed for the first-time vegetable gardener. And I know how hard she worked on it. And so I put it on my list more as a support for her. I've been growing vegetables for a long time, so I kind of have a clue, but she still has so much valuable information for people that are new to it. But her goats, she raises Nubians and Nubians and some other one, but she names her goats things like Ross Poldark and Mr. Ennis, and she doesn't have a George Warlegan, thank goodness. But if you don't, those are characters from books, and um, and her anyway. It's another one of those just wildly inspirational, mom doing, mom whose kids are going to grow up to change the world kind of people. So, all right, so now that's slightly drier, so I can add in a little light all the way to the ground as far as a beam of light from that. And then there's this arm of things that needs to be colored in, but I'm going to approach that with a gel pen, and I cannot do it right now. So then we need a crown, and the crown can just be gold. Might as well just pull in just a tiny bit of this. Oh, so anyway, I was talking about Bo, and so he apparently had received some comments about, about when are you going to go after the other side as hard as you go after, the sort of abilities of the current administration. And he says, don't confuse, what is it? He's like, don't confuse bias and it's basically practicality. I don't remember exactly what it was, but his answer was on the day, hopefully on January 23rd, which is i.e. when someone new is the responsible party. Because like I said, his thing is with issues, not humans with issues. So, and I like that because I think that is a much more honest way to think about it. Because it's really got to do with issues, not that we've had lots of people that have sat in the office and not done anything about the issues. So, okay, so now we've got an open window, and we need to decide what we want that to be, and what color we want it to be. So it could be painted. It could be a green house. Susan! Oh, yay! Okay, the operation is on Thursday. Okay, and you can see a little. Okay, terrific. In that case, you know what? My heart will be with you. Well, it's with you already, but my prayers will be with you that day, and I'll be thinking about it. And I know, Susan, that everything is going to work out just fine. I just know so. And hopefully you'll be able to see like an eagle. If you want to see like an eagle. All right, this is the beach green. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this house green because I can. It's painted green. I'm not pressing hard at all with the pencil. It's just the weight of the pencil. So we're going to make our little house green, and we're going to trust that Colin's shading and shadowing is going to see us through. So now, see, I waited, and I waited till the very end. To do that part under the light, and that way I was able to bring that up under the light very lightly, so that now it looks like the light is actually shining on a greenhouse. Just like that. I like it when a plan comes together. So if the house is green, then what color is its window? And does it have a window pane? And why not? It should have a window pane. So do not be afraid. Do not be afraid, my lovelies, to simply draw in. Ooh, how about, pardon me. Okay, how about instead of a window shade or a coffee. Waiting for my throat spasm to stop. All right. So how about instead of a window with panes, what if those are closed shutters? And this lady is playing, and a handsome hunter who lives in this green cabin and wants to find out who's making that beautiful music. And so he throws open his shutters to find out. And what color are his shutters painted? Well, in a greenhouse, his shutters are painted His shutters are painted, and his shutters are painted red, of course, because yes, his shutters are, of course, painted red. Because what other color would they be painted? Well, we don't want them to be too bright red, but we definitely want them to be. There we go. So they look a little bit worn, right? So they're red. They're not too red. This is really nice paper to work on with Inktense because you can sort of lift a little bit of it out if you go too far. So here we have all these little vignettes that we've just made little stories about. And we still have our background sky back there. You know, I was going to cancel today's show, guys, because I just wasn't feeling it. So thank you for giving me the space to go on with the show. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Yeah, I would, after this whole week of just ugh. Of course, y'all know I'm sort of sensitive to just ugh. And you probably can't see it. You can't. Gemma, thank you. Oh my goodness. Gemma Calamari, you are just amazing yourself. My goodness. Thank you. What a very, very kind thing to do. Thank you for that super chat. Those come in very handy. Ooh, let me tell you what. Okay, and Gemma, I'm sure that I have your address somewhere, but if I don't, well, actually, I don't know. I'm not sure that I do. But if you would be so kind as to send me an email and let me know, and I'll send you out a card or something to say thank you. It is. Whoops, sorry, that's not it. That's not it. Make that go away. Remove. Thank you. Okay. CLAldridgeArt. CLAldridgeArt at gmail.com. Thank you. There it is. And wow, this is complicated. Only in my world, Susan. Only in my world, because I'm making up a story about it as I sort of go along. Okay. Like for instance, in here, after I just did that, we've got wooden steps. All right. So we need to account for the fact that we've got wooden steps. What color do we want our wooden steps to be? Are they painted steps or are they just wood? I think they're probably just wood. Let's see here. Maybe they're willow. And so we'll put in some willow stairs. And the space is just too tight to get in there and try and do each one of those individually the other way. But then perhaps because somebody thought it would be a good idea. They made because I can help pull the color in from over there. Maybe they decided that it would be a good idea to have a nice rose-colored paint. A nice rose-colored paint on the wall of the staircase leading up to this top tower where whoever it is that lives up there is probably not long for this world. Because otherwise, why would they put them all the way up there? Whoops. So you don't mind if I like stab you? Here, let me stab you. Okay. Oh my goodness. I am losing it. My little brain. Look, and I have forgotten a part of this building. Every time this is a problem with this book. Every time you think that you have it, that you are done, that you are, there's something new to find and new to color. Like, for instance, right there to the person who was shouting and screaming at me, Christine, you forgot that little spot. I heard you. Okay. All right. So now let's move along. I cannot believe it's already 3:10. And overall, yay, I haven't coughed that much, so that's good. That must mean it's not going to rain after all. Because normally, if it's going to rain, I am just a mess. Okay, so let's try. We've got some tight brick in here. And usually tight brick presents to me as red. And so I was thinking that I would go ahead and use the baked earth, which is sort of a brick red. But before I do that, I want to grab in a little bit of the, do I want the brown? Yes. All right, so let's do this. Let's use some bark brown. And let's put little bits, right, of black or bark brown, close enough, in to all of our areas. Oops. Can you see that? I can't tell if the focus is okay on this or not. Whoops. That's about, I think that might be as close as I can get it, everybody. Okay, so let's do this. We'll put in little, okay, that's a, so these are just, and I'm going to color these first. And do you know why I'm putting these in? Because you know how when you look at brick, it's usually got a bunch of different colors in it, right? So then this is madder brown. So what I'm doing, I guess I'm showing you a reverse process to the color wash, because I already showed you what I'm going to do here with with adding some additional colors in and all of that. That's in the, I think that's in part 2 or part 3 of this series, and so this is the reverse of that. This is starting with the additional stuff, starting with the additions. Oh, look, there's a little window back there. Wonder who lives there. What's going on? It's all part of this house. This is okay. So let's take, oops. We're just going to tap these in right here. Just tap, tap, tap with your brush. And you can even choose to tap up. Sweetheart, do not jump from there because you will tip that stack over. Do not jump from there. She's thinking that she's going to jump onto the desk from a stack of, she's sitting on top of a stack of things. And of course, the minute that she launches herself, the stack will fall. Dear, honey, stop. That's the toilet repair kit. You cannot mess that up. Yes, just because I haven't done anything with it yet. Yeah, sweetheart, not a place for the cat. All right, one more thing piled up here. Running down, just pile stuff higher. Get it out of her way. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so now the baked earth is the color that I want, but I do want to wash it out just a tiny bit, I think. I could be wrong. At least when you do this on a diffused sheet like that, it gives you a chance to sort of tone the intensity of the color down if you don't want it to be quite so bright. You know, if you want it to look like older brickwork. And I think that I may have made my little dots too big. But if that's the case, well, then we'll know that for the next time. On the other hand, I may see this is really why I didn't want to, because they are streaking as they get wetter. They're streaking. Not what I want to do. On the other hand, that could very easily be art's way of making magic. And so maybe I'm intended to go with it. I never argue. I never argue with a result. I always try to learn something from it. You know, either because one of three things is going to be true. Either it gave you exactly the effect you want, it didn't give you the effect you want, it's better, or it didn't give you the effect you want and you learned what not to do. You learned that that method didn't work. So then you can try a different method next time. Yeah, I don't know. That looks like kind of old brick to me. I can hardly wait. Hello, Anne, a colorful life. How are you, my dear? Hope life is good, treating you well. Okay, so now we need some curtains. And since we're sort of on a green kick, let's make the curtains green. I'm going to wash out that beach green just a tad. Just a little bit. Up here at the top. Oops. And then sort of pull it down so that it's a little bit lighter toward the bottom. So there's a green window there. Maybe it's green paint or wallpaper or something inside the house. But here, this is once again the Sicilian yellow. So we want the light to be on in the top of the room. And then I want some, I think maybe some purple curtains are in order. I like purple curtains. Very few people have purple curtains. This is the violet, so we'll just kind of go with the violet. It's not a very big window. Just want to give the idea that that's a little bit, there's a little bit of light going on in that room. And there is, in fact, a pretty purple curtain there. It's just a hint. Just a hint of a curtain. But somebody lives there and they're home. Okay, and here we can also add just a tiny bit of yellow down here. There we go. Now, we could, if we wanted to, and this is where I wish, one of the things I don't have is fine liners, but if I did, I would use a fine liner to go around that. I will use a gel pen instead, but I will wait. And I will also use, well, let's see here. Let's, since we're sort of on a theme, but I like that. Let's use the same green that we used in all the other places. We'll tie it in, only we're going to paint the trim on this house green, okay? Because that's how these guys used to do it. It would be a brick house. I guess it probably is still done that way. There'll be a brick house, but there'll be, let's see, that would be a stone ledge, wouldn't it? Okay. Be a brick house, but they'd be, there would be painted trim. And yeah, I mean like colored fine liners. I have black fine, obviously my black drawing pens, but I don't have any colored fine liners. So I just have, I don't usually have a great deal of call for them because It's not a coloring medium I would ever use, and I would use like one every couple of years. I haven't needed one up until this moment. How about that? And I've been coloring on YouTube for a while, so uh, so I guess it would just not be a worthwhile. Wouldn't be worthwhile for me to want them. Oh, and speaking of which, I wanted to ask you, um, did you make your cat fountain, or did you buy it? The cat, I have discovered through this toilet debacle that the cat is freaking fascinated with running water. I mean, if I go into the bathroom now, the cat is there. I mean, she's like, she's going to take the back off the toilet. She's going to make it flush. Oh, what? Like, oh, that's so funny. Okay, so now we also could, if we wanted to, I'm thinking, because that's always a dangerous prospect. Always a dangerous prospect when Christine is thinking. Okay. Maybe if we did just a tiny, tiny bit of carmine pink down here, just a hint. I don't know. Something is just calling to me to add a hint of carmine pink down there. And so I'm going to add it just to give maybe some warmth to that. Warmth and depth and visual interest. Because there's no people in that window. There's nothing interesting really going on. All right, now there is a bow here, and it's a string, and it seems to be holding something up. And I'm trying to figure out what is going on here. Oh, okay, so apparently whatever this whole thing here coming off this building, so apparently this building is sort of falling away. And okay, so there's this. Okay. So it's falling away, and one of its windows has sort of come loose from, when it started to fall, and it's tied up by a string. A string is the only thing that's holding it right there. And Anne is be right back in Christine. Okay. Oh, Anne. Are you back yet or not? I have a question. Can they do? No, they would bleed through. Yeah, Daryl and they would bleed through. Yeah, and of course, Kat, I love you. Yes, it's good that I remember that. When you knock stuff off, sweetheart, you've got my tolerance level at about a 9 here. Yeah. Oh, oh, and did you buy the kitty fountain or did you make it? Because I'm thinking that because I keep seeing these. I've got a ton of YouTube channels for making your own indoor fountain or your own little fountain. All you really need is a aquarium pump and a couple of a tube, an aquarium pump and a tube, and then a couple of water containers, something to pump it out of and something to hold it and something to have it cycle back through. And But my cat is amazed. Now I found one on Amazon and I did put it on my list, but I'm thinking that it might be far less expensive to make one, and so I thought I'd ask if you made one or if you bought one, because because my cat seems to really enjoy it, and Lord knows she's got enough. She's got a few pleasures in life, since I don't, there's not anybody here but me for her to play with, and so like she's just so silly. All right, so now we've got, and I need to make that. I'm not happy with those purple drapes. I picked a bad color, or I picked a bad execution of the color. Is more likely. It's more likely user error than anything else. All right, this is the violet. That's better. I just need to, when I want to do something like that, I just need to remember that it's okay to go my own way and make my drapes a little bit more than they were. There we go. You bought a new pump for it on Amazon and filters. You bought yours. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's they have one on Amazon. Well, they have several on Amazon, but I wasn't sure if you had purchased yours or made it. And like I say, there's just a ton of videos about making it. Okay. Now I do want to mark this corner a little bit better as far as starting to add in some. This is the willow brown. All right, and so this is where you kind of start getting into your detail. Like I want that to look like a bit of a ledge, right? Underneath. But what I really want is for there to be a bit of a edge to this wall. Here we go. Since those two colors are very similar, I may actually work a different brown. Now, this, everyone, is a process, just so you know. Once I start this little detail kind of process, I can get lost doing this for literally hours. Just adding in little things that I see, maybe I that I didn't see before. And I don't know how you are when you are coloring something that is complicated, but you shouldn't be afraid of anything that is complex. You will really get absorbed in it. Now, for my next project, speaking of which, because when I'm done with this picture, we're gonna take on Dramenvanger, because so many people have copies of that book who have not colored in it, and it should never. I mean, my books are accessible to people. Everybody can color in it. You don't have to be a good colorist. You know, nobody's going to take you to the coloring police if you mess it up. And but I mean, a lot of people I know are hesitant to color in some of their better books, or you know, they're I guess we sort of come to the conclusion that they're special books. Oh yes, we're still in Colin Thompson's coloring book, and there's information on this book in the description of the video. And yeah, I mean, there are a lot of us are very attracted to these, you know, beautifully drawn books, and then we hesitate to color them. I still have not colored in my copy of Inkhouse. Now, when I do, I am personally going to sit down with all of Zucchini Kitty's videos on this book, and I'm going to just do them one right after the other, and I'm going to try and do what she's done exactly. A, because I think it would be a tremendous learning experience for me, and B, because I'm also sure that after the first couple, I will start to adapt my own style into it and all of that. Like, look, I just saw all of this back here. I haven't even seen that before. It's like, when did that pop in? Wait a minute. And what is that? That's a cake of some kind. It looks like a cake. What's a cake doing on top of the window? And that's a whistle. That's a whistle. Oh my goodness. Okay. And yeah, so it's like, oh my goodness. But if you approach it one little vignette at a time, like, yeah, Zemlis Nova. Exactly. It's this Drummond thing. Where is it? It's this one, which is Tomislav Tomic. All right. And it's, there is, after working on this, there is nothing intimidating about this book, trust me. Absolutely nothing at all. In fact, I won't be intimidated by anything ever again. Except maybe Inkhouse. And that's only because I love it so much. And if you haven't seen Inkhouse, is there anybody in the world who hasn't seen the Inkhouse? Just in case there is, this is the Inkhouse. And then we have, these are the pictures in the Inkhouse. This was the first one. Francois is the first one that I saw Karen color, Zucchini Kitty. And I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, you gave it away. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. Oh, wait, you have colored a lot in Tomislav. Yes, I do too. And I have Bill and Son as well. And so, yeah. And I just love this. I just love this book. Not your style. Okay. All right. Well, it's certainly not my style of drawing, but it's definitely it's definitely inspiring. That's for me, it's just really, Heather, Heather and Felt. She did this one, and she did each one of these. It's just amazing. Each one of the panes individually with Inktense, by the way, and it will. Oh, Freddie, gotta love Freddie the Fox, Freddie Foxglove. This whole picture, it's just amazing. Oh, Dramenvanger, hang on. Now I should say, I buy the Dutch editions of these books, but this book is called. Well, I think it's released in English also as Dramenvanger, but it's Tomislav Tomic and Dramenvanger. And I've started one thing in this book. Oh, actually, I take that back. I started two things. Yeah, I'm working on that with, but I was working on this with Inktense. Yeah. But yeah, it's yeah. And then the second one of these, Barb, is called Villainson, or actually, in Dutch it's Sprook. It's SPROOKJESBAS. So Sprookjesbas, because the J is a Y. So, and it is quite literally. Oh, why do I buy the Dutch version? Because at the time, I don't remember. There was a good reason. Daryl Lynn, there was a very good reason. It had to do with the way it was printed and the quality of the paper it was printed on, if I remember correctly. The direct comparisons between the original editions that came out from Croatia and the Dutch editions were that the Dutch ones were better. And that is why, because Tomislav Tomic is Croatian. So we're back. Okay, I'll be right back. Oh, that's so much better. It's so much nicer when you don't have to do the chair wiggle. Ah, not doing the chair dance. Yay. Okay. So let's see. Okay. So what was I was talking about, getting involved in the details, right? And, so yeah, I can be sitting here, I'll be working on these little bitty details. Like I'll decide that I don't like the color of that wall. And so I'll end up making this a wood frame or something along those lines. And then thinking, well, how is this person getting to this stairway? Um, and I honestly do not know how they're doing it. So, stuff like that will bother me until I figure it out. Maybe I'll build him a stairway, something, something along those lines. Um, Here's a cherry, for instance. This is a cherry. So let's address this cherry because we should. And so one of the things that I want to do with Mr. Cherry is he needs to start out with what? A little, no, probably not that. How about a little bit of this? This is the dark purple. Yes, this is the violet. So we've got there's a cherry stem down here. I don't think there's any chance that I'm going to be able to. See if I can get you down there. Okay. Hopefully that is decent focus. Okay, so that was the purple, right? And then this is the Shiraz. And I'm just putting it kind of down in there. Then I'm going to take this golden yellow, this lovely golden yellow, which has got such a blunt point, go up there to the top. And then I want a nice cherry red. Okay. Now, that is a super, super duper tiny little cherry. And if I've done this right, it will be a perfect little super duper shiny purple grape. No, cherry. It'll be a cherry. Because what we're going to do is we're going to get all that purple, get it all the way down there to the edge. Because this is Christine Land. And in Christine Land, cherries are purple. Oh, is he home? Yay! Or, yeah, yay. Oh, I'm glad he's home. Ann's dad, he was in the hospital, so I'm glad he's home. I'm assuming he's home. Can you guys see that? I am hoping my focus is shot, guys. So I'm hoping that you can actually see that. All right, so now we have okay, now we have a little something. Now where this something is, I'm guessing it's part of this siding on this house. So this is brick going up the front, but maybe it's got a wood. Okay. There we go. So this is why I'm glad that I made the trim. Okay, so now my trim here will be green. But if the trim is green, what color did they paint the house? The trim is green. So if they did the trim green, they probably painted the house. Anybody with any ideas? So you put you put green trim, put forest green trim on a white house. But what other colors do you put green trim on? A yellow house? No, that would look too. A gray house. That's a good idea. Could be a red house. Probably a gray house, though. I agree. Yes, green trim on a gray house. Kim, that's a good idea. Kim has a really good eye for color, guys. And so let's wash this out just a little bit. We don't want too much gray. We just want it to be a nice sort of neutrally gray. Like that. See, now that just sort of brings it right back to the roof line. So now I've got to do something about that roof line. Now, the roof line needs some baked earth. It needs some terracotta tile across the top. Okay. Because those are those rain things. All right, and then it needs a willow colored, it's madder brown. That is baked earth. Let's see, willow brown. I need a nice willow. There's the willow brown. Okay, so now I need a nice willow brown wooden roof. Up there. Okay. All right. So now I want that to dry kind of splotchy, but I don't think it's going to. I think it's just going to end up soaking in to the paper. And for those of you who may be wondering if Inktense will bleed through to the other side, the answer is no. No, it will not. When you are dealing with ink and water, it won't bleed through, usually. If you are dealing with ink and alcohol, it will. Now, how many people knew, excuse me, that you can actually activate Inktense with alcohol instead of water? You can. You can. You absolutely can. It doesn't change the nature of the Inktense. It just changes the delivery, and I think it probably gives you less, although I don't know. I think it probably gives you less working time. Okay, so we need a little more. We need a little more gray. On this house. Okay. Yeah, and so see, this is what I mean. I'll sit and tweak. You can sit and tweak and tweak and tweak, and the alcohol dries faster. Yes, the alcohol does dry faster, which is probably why you get a little less working time. But I have never found that waiting for the drying time to be a trial, because there's some, usually I would not, if I had to cover big swaths of space, I would not recommend Inktense as a medium. But for coloring in coloring books, small space items, or things that are, even if they're larger items, things that you are looking to gradiate or change tonally as you're going along, then Inktense is a great medium. If I were going to be, say, painting something that had large items, I would be much more likely to go with a either a watercolor or a a marker, something along those lines, because Inktense is subject to streaking, and so you want to, and that's part of its nature, is that it is it's the ability to to get little shadows up underneath stuff. You just push the color, that kind of thing. And of course, you could do that with. It's just, I think that Inktense dries more intense. Watercolor, once it's dry, it's much less intense of color. Okay. I don't feel like we got a whole long way today, but we did get, I realized that we did get quite a distance, because we actually got this entire vignette here of the night, the people at night, and we got the daytime bard, and we got the rest of this building. We got the whoever lives here. Took a couple of rabbit trails, and we now have one of these. But but my time is over, and in out of respect for Spooktober and the people who are working so hard on Spooktober, and the ladies who organized it, Sammy and and all of that. I'm sure they were the usual three, which are Sammy, Isabel, and somebody else. Um, uh, Although I don't really know, but I'm assuming it was. So, everybody, thank you, thank you, thank you to those of you who were here with me today to do this, and to listen to me babble. And Kathy, I have no idea why it's holding your messages, but it does. I'm glad I keep getting to put them through. Everybody, pick up your books, go on an adventure, have fun. If you're on this adventure with me, then there will be a part 5. I promise. Until we meet again, from Colin. Thank you. A special thanks again to Gemma for that wonderful super chat. And like I say, those are always so appreciated. The Until we meet again next week, and yes, I hope I'll do a midweek video. I'm sure I probably will try. Maybe I'll even do two to surprise y'all. Until we meet again, color something pretty, everybody. And once again, I don't particularly for him, but I don't wish any ill on our president. I know he's in the hospital. I hope he's all right, and I hope he makes it. So keep them in your thoughts if you can. Bye, everybody.